You are who your clientele is. I never thought that I would be uttering the words of Todd Staley here on my cast, but Todd is one of my most beloved and ex GMs when I used to work in restaurants. He used to always say that you are who your clientele is when it came to us as managers and as servers. As I look around in the atmosphere we have now in our political climate, I can't help but to think that we are who our presidential candidates are at this moment. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at Trump, a narcissist. So I had to look up the word. What does a narcissist mean? It means a person who has an excessive interest or admiration of themselves. You could take a look at anyone's random feed and see a feeling of narcissism that runs through their socials. As Americans, we've ushered in a attitude of me first in this capitalist society. It has made it paramount that you put yourself above others and tell yourself how good you are and what a great person you are because you've done so. We value our image and ourselves more than we value our own humanity and the people around us. Another trait that President Trump has is denial of expertise. We watched him in how many meetings with scientists and people behind him make comments as they came to the podium, and he would come up right after them and deny it. We constantly fight logical science to justify our own wants and desires. There goes that narcissism thing again, right? Half of us scream about having to wear a mask. Half of us scream about how masks aren't effective. Half of us let you know that all of this will just go away and it's a conspiracy. We're living in a pandemic, and yet the people that we're supposed to trust the most are giving the information, and we have examples of people all around the world, and yet we still deny the science because it doesn't fit our own personal narrative. We fight with science, not only just fight with them with other science, we don't fight with other science. We fight with our anecdotal stories or our opinions. Our thought processes of, oh, well, I had COVID in whatever in November and I got over it and I'm fine. Or everybody's going to catch it or has had it at one point, so it doesn't really matter. We should just open up and be normal and let things go as regular scheduled. Guys, why are we denying experts here? Are you trying to say that every expert is in the bag? Every expert is paid by somebody? I'll let you know in on a little secret. Anybody you listen to is paid by somebody if they have a platform. But we deny the majority of science to go ahead and put out information or to claim things that aren't true. You know, one of the biggest lies that we're told in history is about the earth being flat. Majority of people that were on the earth at the time knew the earth wasn't flat. But if you remember in science or in schools, in studies in history, they said, oh, it was this huge thing. Everybody thought the earth was flat, and a few rogue scientists said otherwise. It's completely false. Majority of people knew the earth was round, and it was a couple of rogue scientists that thought the earth was flat. We are still believing that the earth is flat and thinking that, oh no, you're a revolutionary if you think the earth is round because you think science is not telling you the truth. Another thing Trump does is lie. We lie to ourselves every day. If you really believe that Trump is the best thing for America, you're lying to yourself. If you really believe that Biden is the best thing for America, you're lying to yourself. Our lives are not that great. But if you turn on to any one of our social medias, it looks like we're having the time of our lives. Nothing's stopping us. We're living that YOLO life, baby, all the way through. And I feel like I'm a clown for using the word YOLO as 36 years old. But that's another conversation for another day. We love to flex on the gram, on Facebook, and on Twitter because we have to lie to ourselves to keep from crying when we look at the existence that a lot of us do live and the conditions though a lot of us do live and suffer through. Another thing that Trump exhibits is fake Christianity. Now, I'm not saying that Trump isn't a Christian, and I don't know what his whole situation is when it comes to religion. I know he once said that his favorite book was the Bible. But seems funny that he doesn't lead this nation as if his favorite book is the Bible. And a lot of people in this nation don't lead their lives as if their favorite book is the Bible. We go back to the golden rule. But for some reason, everybody's forgotten the golden rule and they've made it the me rule. or they interpret the golden rule a different way. Do unto others as you want someone to do unto you. It's simple. A lot of that takes a lot of empathy, a lot of caring and compassion. I don't know if people have that nowadays because at the end of the day, we've become so numb to the violence. We've become so numb to inconsiderate and rude people. We've become so numb to classlessness. But yet, as soon as something happens, we want to tell someone about how they're not religious and how this shouldn't happen because the good book says. People can't even realize why all lives matter and blue lives matter is offensive to Black Lives Matter. Do you think Jesus would sit here and argue with someone about why blue lives and all lives matter? Or do you think Jesus would help the oppressed people that are needing help and wanting everybody to come together and fix the issue? But we love to tout the Bible as the basis of our beliefs and the basis of why we do what we do in day to day. But then when we go to the voting booths, we don't vote for the candidates that actually do the things that we work or preach or listen to every Sunday. Well, let's talk about Biden for a minute here, because I'm gonna keep it both ways. We as Americans, we have the inability to admit when we make mistakes. Joe Biden still won't apologize for the crime bill. He doesn't see the need to or the want or thinks he did anything wrong. Countless Americans were locked up. Countless Americans that look like myself were locked up and put away and found out that the measures in which they were done was completely discriminatory. But yet he still can't find it in his heart to apologize or admit he did anything wrong. I typically educate myself by listening and reading experts. Then when I have a belief that I hold true, I speak to other people smarter than myself, and I try to find people smarter than myself that have opposing views, and I debate. Shout out to my man Les Lawson. Shout out to my man Reese Bakari. These are some of the people I debate on a regular basis that I deem are way smarter than me, and we don't always agree on things. But you know what it does? It helps me to admit the mistakes in my point of view or beliefs because I'm able to either refine or define them or realize that my beliefs don't hold any water because I can't find concrete ways to display it or show that I'm correct in the way I believe. Kind of like that science thing. Get new information, you change your opinion. But how many of you are willing to hear other people talk, even if they disagree with you, and understand that maybe the way you feel or think is completely wrong? A lot of you won't think that you're completely wrong. We love to say that, well, I guess we agree to disagree. The only time I agree to disagree with people is when I think it's a fundamental block because of experience and because of lack of expertise on one or the other side. If I'm not up to that person's level, then yeah, I agree to disagree because I haven't been able to get to the point where I can understand where they're coming from because maybe it's above my head. Or maybe some people can't empathize with me or understand or be able to get to where I am with a situation because my life experience has dictated my views on the issue. Sometimes I hate when people say, well, I guess we agree to disagree because I feel like it's a way to just shut it down. It's like calling someone crazy or calling someone stupid or calling someone dumb. Not the same words, but I feel like it's just a way to shut down a good conversation or debate because either that person can't express themselves properly or the vice versa. But we have an issue with admitting our own mistakes and trying to learn and grow from them. Joe Biden also has an inability to change that goes with the lack of admitting his mistakes. As Americans, we literally have put Joe Biden in a position because he is the same old that we had before. The same old we had before wasn't good. But some people feel like it's better than what it is right now. So when we had the opportunity to actually affect and make and take change, we took the safe bet because we don't want to change. We don't push ourselves to want to change. So when Biden came up, it was either Bernie, the quote unquote socialist, or it was Joe Biden, the guy who's going to get us back to quote unquote the old days of America. Mental decline. I mean, we're calling the guy Sleepy Joe. We cringe when he ever has an interview or he's going to speak without a teleprompter. I look at America's mental decline. And I mean, our mental decline is coming from the lack of education that we have through our school systems, but also the lack of the ability for us to go out and seek and obtain knowledge. I love to see everybody's videos of everybody working out and running hard and lifting big weights. And I need to be out there with you and join you. But I rarely ever see anybody flexing their mental muscle, that intellectual muscle. That is just important as every other piece of your body. Eventually, your body will deteriorate. You hope to God that your brain doesn't deteriorate. We don't flex that muscle very often. When's the last book that you've read? If you read a book recently, what's the last book that you read that actually was opposed to your views? What was the last information that you took in that wasn't spoon-fed to you? But yet we run around and call everybody sheeples. If I ask most of these people that call people sheeples, why do you have the opinions or what you have? What brought you to these opinions, or what made you think that you're correct and everybody else is foolish and following the hottest trend? I guarantee you it wouldn't be based off any PhD or somebody who actually does work in that field. It'd be based off them thinking they're smarter than everybody else. I once found out that, or been told that, a wise man is wise enough to know and understand that he doesn't know and understand anything. A lot of times when you hear me talk or debate with people, I let people know straight up, I don't know much of nothing. I know a little bit about a little bit of something. But that little bit of something I know is a huge about a lot of everything that I don't know. I understand that. I always tell people I'm not a smart person. I just work hard to obtain the information that I want to obtain and the information that I think is important to me. In doing so, I also challenge myself, and that's why I debate almost anybody. I even challenge everybody to debates or have conversations. Why? Because I believe that is how you keep yourself mentally strong, and iron sharpens iron. It is funny and comical how many people that I've offered to have conversations and debates with that will never debate or have conversations with me. And they're the same ones that are calling people sheeple. It is funny that when I look at these two candidates, these are the candidates that we deserve. Again, we had options to try, be, and achieve more or something different. But we didn't. We chose these two guys because we see ourselves in a lot of them. And if you don't understand that we see a lot of ourselves in both of them, then you're in denial, which is something else that both of those guys have. Guys, I know this is a little bit on a serious note, but again, thank you for listening. If you listened all the way through, check out something that's more fun and entertaining. If you go check out on Spotify, DJ Tunes and Corny J, some good music on there, some good commentary on there. Just has a good time with that all together. But guys, thank you guys for listening and reading this. You can catch me on Twitter on Unsportsman Big J, UN Sportsmen Big J, on Twitter at Jazz JAS B Allen, on Instagram, and then on Facebook, Head Cannon Circus, YouTube, Head Cannon Circus, or just on my personal page at Jason Allen. So again, thank you guys. Tell me what you guys think. Do you guys think our two presidential candidates are a reflection of the state of America or not? I'm willing to see all these answers and see where this goes from here, guys. Appreciate the time. You guys have a blessed day.